All right, we're gonna do lesson 5 here in code.org. So CSD Unit 3, lesson 5. The link is on Google Classroom if you need to get there, but you should just be able to press continue. We're gonna do this one quick. Level 8 is also, and this one is the one that you will be turning into Google Classroom. If you need to work on your past assignment from lesson 4, feel free to just kind of put that on pause and work with us right now, and then you can always go back at the end of class and work on that. So this lesson introduces variables. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to press. That's why I adjusted the saving right now. There we go. So refresh. It should be there now. All right. This lesson introduces variables as a way to label a number in a program or save a randomly generated value. The class begins the lesson with a very basic description of the purpose of a variable and practices using the new blocks, then completes a level of progression that reinforces the model of a variable as a way to label or name a number. So we're going to be able to store and declare variables now, which is kind of cool. That's a big step in programming. A variable is a label for a piece of information used in a program. So we're going to be able to use this variable to store and mark information in our code. So as we go through here, we can go ahead and press continue there on level 1. So now we're here on level 2, lesson 5, level 2. It says predict. Read the code below and make a prediction. Where will the circle be drawn? And then what will happen if you change the number in line 1? So it says variable or var x position equals 50. Okay. So the x position is at 50. So it says ellipse x position 350, 100, 100. So where do we think, if the x position is 50, this on line 1, variable x position equals 50, and then on line 3, it says that same x position here, and then 350, we know 350 is the y variable, or the y value. So if we go to y 350, okay, there's y 350, but if we look at x position 50, what side am I going to be on, left or right side of the screen? The left, right? So it's going to be about here, right? X 50, y 350. I'm going to be about here. Okay, and the circle is going to be at 100, 100. So where will the circle be drawn? In the bottom left corner, correct? Bottom left corner. And then what will happen if you change the number in line 1? So if I change the number in line 1, my x position is going to change. So changing the number in line 1 will move the circle left or right. Smaller than 50 will move it to the left, and larger than 50 will move it to the right. You don't have to type all of this because I'm just being very detailed so that you understand. So it's going to show up in the bottom left corner, and by changing the number on line 1, we're going to move the circle to the left or the right. If it's smaller than what it's at, which is 50, then it's going to move to the left. If it's larger than 50, it's going to move to the right. So if I press run, my circle's down here. If I do if I change this to smaller than 50, if it was 25, it's going to move to the left. See that? Whereas if I do larger than 25, reset. Come on. Won't let me change it. Well, he'll let me change it once. All right. Like I said, you don't need to type all that in. Not too big of a deal. All right, we're gonna skip past the video just because I'm not sure how it'll play through on your end. So we're gonna skip past that. All right, we got another prediction one. In which corner of the screen will the circle be drawn? Click the show grid box to help you find the exact coordinates on the screen. So if I click show grid, excuse me. If I click on the show grid box, it says variable x position 300. Well, we know what that means. That means that it's going to be on this line somewhere. The x is at 300. And then variable y, what's the y, equals 100. So it's going to be at 300, 100. So it's going to be right here, correct? Right? Okay. So it says click the show grid box. So in what corner is it going to be in? It's going to be in the top right corner. Okay, and there it is. So we just type top right in the box. Lesson 5, Level 5. Debug, naming variables. This program has multiple errors caused by bad variable labels. The errors prevent the program from being viewed in block mode, so the code is in text. Below are a few rules for naming variables. Click help and tips above to read more. So labels can't have spaces. Labels can't start with a number, and capitalization and spelling must be exactly the same. Okay, find each rule each variable label violates, and then correct the errors by picking new names that follow the rules above. If your program works, it should draw the image on the right. You should also be able to switch back to blocks mode. So if we look here, we've got this size of circle, var size of circle equals 150. What's wrong with that variable name? Which one of these does it violate? There's spaces, correct. So I need to remove the spaces. So should we just, this one says size of circle. How about we just name this one size? Okay, so I erased of circle. Now, if I change it up here, is there anywhere else on any other line that I was using that old variable name? What line? Yep, on the last line. Yep, I'm using that. I was using that variable somewhere else as well. That's why it says size is defined but not called in your program. So if I look at line 6 here, it still says size of circle. So I need to change this to just size as well. Same thing with here. So I'm erasing of circle. So now size is being used here, and it's also being used down here. Okay. On line 2, this number 1 dimension, what's wrong with that one? What can't I do? Have a 1. Okay. So let's just leave it as dimension. Okay. So down here on line 6 where I have it say 1 dimension, I'm going to have to erase that 1 as well. Okay. And then capitalization and spelling must be exactly the same. So this one says Y location with a lowercase y and a capital L. But down here, I've got Y location with a capital Y and a capital L. I need to change one. I'm going to change the capital Y down on line 6 to a lowercase y. So now all of my errors went away. And since they all went away, I should be able to, on the right side here, click this show blocks again, and my code should turn back into blocks. Okay, if yours can't do that, then you need to look at the specific line and make sure that you've got your variables named the correct way, the same way that I do. And when we press run, we see that our code works the same way that theirs did, and it should be all good to go. On what line? On line 6. Okay, so that's the one with all of the different ones. Got to make sure that, let me stop presenting and you go ahead and present. Grace, can you click present screen on yours? Did you figure it out, Grace? All right, go ahead and press finish there. All right, using a variable many times. This program only has one variable called petal size. Tired. But it uses it 8 different times. This makes it easy to quickly make lots of changes to your picture as it's drawn. Change the number assigned to petal size so that the red petals touch one another. Try to find the size that makes the most sense. Compare your answer with someone around you. So if we press run, this is our petals. These are our flowers, and we want them to touch. Okay? So what we need to do is I want to show blocks. Click show blocks if I haven't already, so that way it's not in text form, it's in block form. So that's over here next to the version history. Okay. And what I'm going to do is on line 1 where it says var petal size equals 50, I'm going to change that 50 to something bigger. I'm going to change it to 75 and see if that gets these circles to touch. So I'm going to press reset and run, and there's my flower. And now the petals are slightly overlapping, and my flower is now a full flower. So all I had to do was change that one line of 75, and the width and the height of all of my circles grew. Instead of having to click into every single one of these on level or on line 9 twice, 10 twice, 11 twice, and 12 twice, and change all 8 of those variables, I now was able to change just one number on line 1, and it was fixed. Did you get yours figured out, Grace? I saw that you had to leave and come back. All you have to do is just change line 1 where it says petal size, change it to 75. It says 50 before, just change it to 75. And if yours is in text mode instead of block mode, just click the show blocks next to version history on the right middle of your screen. Yep. Okay, where is it? Oh, there it goes. Okay, sweet. Lesson 5, level 7. Let's do the bear one. This one looks cool. Let's do C, unused variables, and see what we get. Okay. Debug, unused variables. In the code below, variables are created, but none of them are actually being used. Can you find the spots where they can be used? Okay. So if I press run, I've got this bear, and I've got some variables that say ear size, eye size, and center. Okay. So really what we're going to do here is anywhere that it has the number that we would use, we can then go ahead and change it to that variable name. Okay, so where it says ear size, okay, I'm going to change that. Where it says ear size here, I'm going to in 80. I'm going to change that anywhere that it says 80. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click inside of this variable ear size, and instead of having to type it out every time, I'm going to just press Control C to copy it. So that way I don't have to type out ear size every time. I'm going to click inside of that, select where it says ear size, and press Control C to copy. Then I'm going to go on line 6, and anywhere that it says 80, I'm going to delete 80 and press Control V to paste in ear size. And the same thing on line 7 where it says 80, I'm going to put ear size, delete 80, and press Control V after deleting it and bring in 80. Now if I did this right, I should be able to press reset and run and nothing should change. And therefore it's done correctly. And that yellow triangle went away because ear size was actually being used. Okay, now where I go to eye size, that's going to be down here on lines 12 and 13. Again, I want to click into where it says eye size. I want to press Control C to copy it. And then on lines 12 2 times and 13 2 times, I'm going to click where it says 15, delete it, and press Control V. Delete, Control V, delete, Control. Yep. Press what? Oh, yeah. Press the arrow over. Yeah. I like to leave both parameters in case because that would mean that I'm getting rid of, it's going to be a perfect circle. And if I get rid of that parameter, it's meaning that the width and the height are going to have to be exactly the same. And I want to leave that in case I want to make them oblong in some way. But for this instance, yes, you're right. We would only have to put it in once. And then this last one, center, anywhere, I'm going to copy that. Anywhere it says 200, I'm going to paste that in. So what that's doing is it's centering any of my values. Okay, so now if I wanted the eyes to be bigger, I could go up here to eye size and I could just change that number from 15. And let's say that I want them to be twice as big. I could change that 15 to a 30. And now my bear looks like he's on meth. Okay, let's say that I want his ears to be massive. I can change the ear size number over here to 160, and let's double those. Now my bear looks like Dumbo. Okay. What else can we do to make our bear totally crazy? Let's see what happens if I change this. Whoa. That one's not good. Maybe Mickey the Mouse, maybe not Dumbo. And since his ears are massive now, his eyes don't look so strange and scary. Oh, I don't think I would change this line to or to center. Weird. All right, that was level 7. Don't have to worry too much about getting that one done. It's just practice. We can always come back to it or rewatch the video and see what we did. So we can go ahead and press finish there. And we're on lesson 5, level 8. So this program draws a face, but the eyes are 2 different sizes. Change the program to use the variable for the size of both eyes, and then run the code to make sure both eyes are drawn at the same size. Run the program to see how it works, change the program to use the eye size variable, and then run the program with different values for eye size to choose your favorite size. Okay, so if we run, we see that our eyes for our smiley face or whatever face this is are two different sizes, and we don't want that. Okay, we want them to be the same. So if we look here at where I size is being used, I size is 27. Okay, so we're going to want to add that one variable in 2 times on what I would suggest is line 13. Okay, add that into the correct spot and then change the I size on line 1 to be an I size that you would like. Okay, and that's all that we've got for today. If you have any questions on the instructions or any past lessons on that, let me know, and you can send me an email. You can ask for help now. I'm going to stop this recording, so I will see those of you that are watching this somewhere else next time.